Here we are by the banks of the mighty Mitta River. The water is looking absolutely superb at the moment. Well, good afternoon everyone, and welcome to Fish Talk Video. If you're a new subscriber, welcome to the channel. If you're an oldie, welcome back. I've just done a day's work today at the Mitta Primary School, and so I thought, knocking off at 3:30, that this was a good opportunity to get down to the river, have a quick spin. So what I've done is I've just put on a baby bullet lure, and I'm going to be going down to the river here. I'll just show you. Beautiful looking piece of water here. It's not far from the roadside. The local farmer's just been past a couple of times and just given me a wave each time, so I'm pretty certain he's okay with me walking in there, so I'll do that and we'll see if I can catch a fish or two. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, and hit the little notification bell and you'll get more from us in the near future. Anyway, here comes the farmer with his cattle coming down the road, so I'll just keep moving. Okay, quick word with the farmer, and he's quite okay with me coming down here, which is good. But if you see them, it's always worth having a word to them. If you're doing the right thing, generally everything's okay. Anyway, here we are by the banks of the mighty Mitta River, and the water is looking absolutely superb at the moment. Beautiful gin clear water. This is quite a deep pool here, so I'll have to work it fairly carefully, I suppose. There's a downstream area there that flows down towards the Mitta township, and upstream of course is Dartmouth Dam. But anyway, I'll get a few lures into the water and we'll see how we go. Polaroid glasses very handy in these situations. Hopefully that's got everything about as straight as we need it. Alright, here we go. Little baby bullet lure there in the gold with the spawning dots on it. Used it successfully in an earlier video I did up in the Tumut River. Anyway, let's get it out there. These baby bullets cast beautifully in this sort of water. You can just about get to the other side of the river without too much trouble or drama. Wow, nearly got into trouble with that cast then. Lovely piece of water, but so far nothing having a look, but that's okay. We'll just keep flicking a few more times. Well, I don't know if you can see that in there, but there's a giant carp swimming through the hole. It's a pity. They're here unfortunately, they're part of the biomass nowadays. But hopefully the trout can compete with them at least in these sort of waters. Okay, little baby bullet. Hasn't worked just yet, but I've got a quick change mechanism here, so I'll change it up to something else. Probably not the lure's fault here, it's probably the fact that you know, there's just nothing around at the moment anyway that is interested, but we'll switch up to a slightly bigger lure. Again in the bullet range, the bullet 50 minnow. First one incidentally was the 30 minnow. So flick this one on. Okay, they're on, they're quick change, and then we should, this is a sinker. Yep, it's a sinking lure. Yep, swimming okay. Alright, let's see what happens with this one. It's a little bit bigger lure. See if there's anything in there that's likely to be enticed by a bigger morsel. Okay. Alright, now I'm going to move on because there's nothing being tempted here, so I just feel that if there's ever going to be any in this stretch of water, it's going to be setting off that faster current over there, looking for stuff coming down. They're not likely to be in this shallow stuff here, so we'll move on. Just a quick session there. Please always leave a farmer's gate exactly as you found it. If you find it open, leave it open. There's probably a reason for that. But certainly if it's closed, make sure you close it behind you when you go through. As anglers, it's getting harder and harder to find landholders that are okay with us, so leave the gates like that. That's a beautiful little piece of water there. We want to be able to enjoy it in the future. So I've travelled up to Snowy Creek, heading up towards the walnuts, and there's a bit of a roadside stop here. I thought I'd better get out of the car first and check this track out, because if I get to the end of it and I can't turn around or I can't back out, I'm not sure the RACV will want to come all the way up here for me somehow, but we'll have a look. Track's pretty good actually. Certainly in a four-wheel drive I should be able to get down here, I would think. But anyway, let's have a look. I'm sure this place gets a fair old beating from anglers and travellers alike. Okay. So it would be drive down and back up. Some fishing line there on the ground. Yeah, and plenty of footprints. Plenty of footprints. Oh well, might be worth flicking a small lure in here. Let's have a look. Lovely little piece of water, as you can see. This is the Snowy Creek. It runs into the Mitta River at Mitta Township. Beautiful piece of water. Alright, I might go and get a rod, see what we can see. We're back to the little 3 centimetre bullet lure. Heavily flogged piece of water, I would dare say. There's plenty of footprints here. I'll just go downstream here a bit first, see if it's worth flicking into a pool that's close by. Yeah, that's a lovely looking pool. So I just stay back from the water's edge a bit. Flick it in there. Time to move on. Time is 5:02. And we'll go upstream a bit further. Okay, still on the Snowy Creek. You can see here just how close to the road this creek runs, so it can get a bit of a flogging, as you can imagine, along here. More hardy people will get into this creek and walk up it themselves. There are plenty of fish in here, I must admit. I haven't fished it for a long time, but we'll just flick a lure again and see what happens, eh? You never know. One thing I do know is that if the rod stays in the car, I won't catch a fish. If the rod or the lure ends up in the water, I'm a chance. Pretty simple, really. Plenty of braid there on the ground. Not a good sign. Fish on, fish on. What do you know? Only a little fella. But quite despite that, it is a fish. Now I'll get down close to the water so I can wet my hands, because he's not coming home obviously, he's only a little one. Let's have a look here. Okay, little fella. Okay. Right. No, he's certainly not going home. Now I'm going to hold him upside down because that keeps them fairly calm. Little brown trout. Off you go, mate. Terrific, we got a fish. Okay, now he took that down there near where this pool spills into the quicker water, so he's obviously waiting at that end of the pool for stuff that's coming past. Well, there you go. It just goes to prove that even the well and truly flogged places can still hold some trout, and this is a good example of that. A lot of tea tree on that side of the creek. Good hangout for trout. They're probably more likely to venture out looking for a bit of tucker at this time of night too. There's plenty of shade areas now, whereas through the day I'm sure that they would be a bit gun shy in a little creek like this. Just thought there might be a second fish in there, but at the moment not to be. Alright, we'll move upstream a little bit. Trying to move upstream a little bit. Fan cast at the bottom of the pool. Got that one little brown. Hoping there'll be a few more further up here. Anyway, this is a good place to continue the sojourn. Rightio, again, up and across. They're expecting their food to come downstream towards them. You tend to do better casting upstream in a little creek like this than casting down or across and down. Sometimes you don't have a choice though, because of undergrowth and everything else. Now I've put that into the main flow. The hope is that the fish will sit just off the flow, waiting for stuff to come by, and then they'll just dart out and ambush it. Now that lure had single opposing hooks on it. Makes it much easier to release small fish, or any fish that you're not keeping for that matter. Normally you only pin them with the one hook, and it's much kinder to the fish, easier to get out of the out of his mouth. Okay, nothing so far. Oh, that was not part of the plan, and that is for sure. Aha. Well, that's going to get my lure back, if nothing else. Well, I'm fast running out of light and out of time, so I'm going to have a little bit of a walk along the creek here. This water's probably a bit slow, but it's the sort of water that might hold a couple of the bigger fish. Mind you, you've got to watch where you're walking. These stream side vegetation, so to speak. There might be a few wrigglies around. Anyway, thanks folks, thanks for watching. This has been Fish Talk Video. If you like what you saw, why not hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and you'll get more from Fish Talk in the near future. Bye for now from the snowy creek above Mitta.